Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how I make this Halloween themed cake. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, follow me on my Instagram and my TikTok, which will be linked below. So without further ado, let's get on with the recipe. Okay, so the vanilla cake recipe I'm using is the same one from my berry chantilly cake recipe, which will be linked below if you guys want to see me actually make the cake. Since I do it in today's video, since it's the same recipe from like 2 videos ago. But I am going to be showing you guys how I make this Swiss meringue buttercream. This is not a tutorial for the Swiss meringue buttercream because this was my first time making it. So I don't want to give you guys a tutorial on something I barely know how to make. But I will link a recipe in the description. So make sure to check that out if you do want a recipe on Swiss meringue buttercream. So yeah, this is my first time making this and it was definitely stressful. It took me 8 hours in total to make this and it was very frustrating because I wanted to get the cake done as soon as possible because I feel like it always takes me a long time to make cakes unnecessarily. So I want to try to learn how to speed up and, you know, become faster at making cakes. But, you know, the whole step of taking an hour to make frosting was very frustrating. But, you know, it is what it is and turned out fine at the end. Basically, my whole setback was the egg white process. You're supposed to whip the egg whites until they become like really thick and fluffy. I thought this maybe was a good enough, but looking back at all the videos that I saw on making Swiss meringue buttercream, their egg whites were a lot thicker and fluffier than this. So I literally spent probably like 30, honestly maybe 40 minutes whipping this up with the hand mixer. So yes, I was not having that much of a good time after a while. Eventually it just wasn't getting thick, so I'm like, okay, I'm just either gonna throw it away, I'm gonna move on to the butter step and see if it thickens up, which it didn't. But after I put in all the butter, I decided to put it in the freezer for like 5 minutes. Then after I took it out, I came back with my hand mixer, mixed it for like 1 minute, and it instantly thickened up. So I was so happy to see that it actually thickened up and I didn't have to waste a whole hour making frosting that I wouldn't even be able to use in the end. So I was very happy to see that it actually thickened up. So yeah, after I did all that, I added my food coloring. I made black frosting and a dark purple frosting. For the black frosting, I did not need a lot of it. I just needed it for bordering. So I wasn't too much worried about the taste. So I'm be honest, the black frosting tasted disgusting. So I wouldn't recommend you guys make it this way if you're looking for a good tasting black frosting. But I am going to be making some more black frosting later down the line. You guys will see that in the video for another Halloween cake I'm gonna do, which hopefully that one will taste a lot better. But this one I just needed it for bordering and I wasn't too much worried about the taste of it. But I just put a bunch of black food coloring until it became the color I needed it to be. So yeah, it didn't taste good, but it did the job that I needed it to do. And then I just added in some gel Wilton purple food coloring until it got to this dark purple color that I was looking for. And that is all for the frosting. I will tell you guys, the taste of Swiss meringue is not my favorite. I actually think I would prefer, well, my favorite icing overall would probably be whipped cream frosting. The taste of this wasn't too good to me. I feel like it was too, like, I don't know. I know it's not a sweet icing, but it was like not sweet at all. So I feel like it didn't taste very good to me. Let me know in the comments what you guys' favorite icing is. This definitely wasn't my favorite as far as taste wise, but I do love how smooth and silky it was and it held up really well. I wasn't expecting how well the shape held up. It's pretty much, I would say, the same as American buttercream. It was very thick. I definitely say it's silkier and smoother than American buttercream, so I like it for that reason. But as far as taste, it wasn't my favorite. But I started decorating my cake. I just put, you know, a layer of the frosting, then I put a border just to help seal in my filling, which was caramel. I wanted dulce de leche, but I had already went to so many different stores. The store I went to only had caramel available, so I just picked that up. But I would recommend dulce de leche because I feel like it just tastes so much better, but you can do as you please. So after I did that, I just continued up until I was finished with the cake, and then I put it in the freezer honestly probably for like 10 minutes. It didn't need to go in that long, but I was making the other decorations while it was in the freezer, and I highly recommend you guys do this step, especially if you have a filling, because it makes it so much easier once it comes out to decorate it. If not, your cake is going to be slipping everywhere, which is very annoying and frustrating to deal with. And at this step, I put my cake in the freezer while I got started on my fondant decorations. I got my mold from Michael's as well as my black fondant, and I just put all of the fondant into the molds that could fit. If I were to redo this, I would fill it up halfway because the spiders were too thick, and I feel like it would have looked a little better if they were thinner. So yeah, but after I did that, I took them out of the molds and I went back in with an X-Acto knife to help take out the empty space between the spider legs. After I took my cake out of the freezer and finished with my fondant molds, I went back in with some more frosting for the middle part to help fill in the gaps, and then I just iced my cake completely. And I was short a little bit of icing, so I couldn't put as much as I needed to, so that's why you might see the cake peeking through a little bit, but I didn't have enough. So yeah, and I definitely was not gonna make more considering how long it took me to make this frosting. So yeah, that's what I did. And then I'm just gonna stick on my little fondant spiders. Then I'm taking these little bat sprinkles and sticking them on the cake. And then I took my black frosting and did kind of a swirly rope border. I don't know what it's actually called, but I've been seeing this a lot recently and I always love the way it looks, so I had to try it out. This is my first time and I was so happy because it turned out beautifully. So yeah, this is definitely probably one of my favorite borders now. I think it's just so gorgeous. And at first I was gonna leave the bottom bare, but it was not giving, so I decided to add some more black frosting down at the bottom, which was a good idea because it looks a lot better now. And then I took some purple, some like whitish silver pearl beads in the center of the cake, which I also think was a great idea because I think it complemented the colors of the cake really well and added an extra pop to the cake. And that is the completed cake. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube, Follow me on Instagram and my TikTok. And yeah, I will be making more Halloween cakes, cupcakes, desserts, whatever, until Halloween comes. So make sure to subscribe if you guys want to see more Halloween themed cakes and etc. So yeah, I'll see you guys next week with a new video. Bye guys.